Is that still that hero there, John? If you wanted to take it.
Yeah.
Just run the support Monkey
Could
King.
try.
They'll go another support. Okay, it's fine. Still 4 potential places it could be picked up.
Yeah.
One of my favorite heroes, by the way, John, right now, if we're, while we're kind of waiting for this draft to go on, do love myself a Dawnbreaker. Very, very fun hero. Very busted kind of hero in the laning phase. And speaking of busted heroes, we have Batrider coming out, though he did get nerfed today. And no more Fade Grenade Batrider, which makes me very happy, but, I guess it was fun to watch people burn to something that really shouldn't put you on fire.
Yeah, it's a great loss for Dota 2. If we don't have Fade Grenade just killing people ASAP. And the hero's still strong. Like, you say nerf, that was the only touch-up, Fade Grenade. He actually got a vision increase from 1-2 daytime to 1-6. So he sees a lot further in daytime, which means Firefly feels a lot better as well. Although the bonus vision from Firefly was reduced to compensate by half. So it's like a give and take there. Your vision without Firefly is better, your vision with Firefly is slightly worse. And actually looking at the nerf, I think overall it's still a benefit. Like max Firefly, you still get 2000 bonus vision, but without Firefly, say you don't pop Firefly, you start at 1-6. So it's still better overall, I think, for Batrider, and that should be fine. Like that, it's not really buff or nerf, it's like a readjustment, I suppose.
Well, I mean, the whole way the Batrider worked before, it was basically off the saying, right? Like, as blind as a bat. He was literally as blind as a bat, but not so much anymore, which is a bit sad in a way.
I mean, I
Fade
guess
Grenade.
technically we're not playing the bat, right? We're playing the Batrider, so his vision should be better. Should be on paper, so it makes sense lore-wise. The guy he even has goggles on top. He has working eyes. It's fine. Makes sense.
But the goggles are to block the wind, John, so things don't fly into your eyes. That's the point.
I guess he's using them now, so he can see in daytime. The wind's not just blowing into him. No, we'll see. Dreammaker, they've got the Quap, so they've got even more burst. It can sustain. We have seen some people try to go for the dagger build. Doesn't feel great in lane. I think the way to go for daggers off lane. Mid Quap should still look for the scream, just to clear out a creep wave, hit a timing. Really good burst damage on hand from Dreammaker, and a lot of mobility. With Pango, with Queen of Pain, you do have Rupture and the Bloodseeker, and you do have Glimpse and Disruptor, but neither of those are really hard stuns. You're really relying on your Static Storm here on Disruptor to lock in something like the Quap, maybe even the Lasso from the Batrider. So I think Dreammaker have enough mobility to kind of put Army Geniuses in a bit of a pinch until maybe the Batrider can gap close and lasso a target away.
All right. 10 seconds left. Final pickup, AG. Do they need a core? Is this some weird support Bloodseeker? Apparently it is, because DK's back. Davion back on the board here for AG. Dreammaker still have the opportunity, John. There's one spot left. It does feel like they need an offlaner right now. They've still got the opportunity open to them. I think you do it. Just do it.
Yeah, just show us whether or not it's actually good. Again, stat-wise, Divine Plus, it has a sub-50 win rate of around 48%. So I'm not too sure how it fares in, say, High Immortal, because that's not isolated, because the data pool's a bit too low. And no, okay, they go with Tide. We're not getting Dawnbreaker. To everyone's disappointment, they run something more standard. For AG, I don't think that's a support Bloodseeker. It's support Monkey with Bloodseeker safe lane. For DB, perhaps, off lane DK for Wami, or off lane Batrider for Wami, flexing the DK around. They're kind of holding off onto his picks, perhaps just eyeing. Oh, well, DM already picked everything, so maybe they're just away. We heard from UK as well that they do play ping pong while the draft goes on, so even if ping pong's banned, maybe they're playing something else. It is the DB safe lane Bloodseeker. Wami Batrider. Okay, so the mid Dragonite, something more standard for Mamung Daya. Lane matchup against Quap, we've seen that before, a long time ago. Not too often now, but is stable, especially since Quap can heal True now as well. So the DK might get zoned out a bit in early levels, but once Dragon's Blood is up, you're not too worried. Rather even draft, I would maybe lean towards Dreammaker. I think their team fight's looking really, really good with a Tide, with a Ravage, with a Quaps, Sonic Wave on top, and the Rolling Thunder. And you have a lot of ways to run that. They don't have the best protection against Batrider. They don't have a natural hard dispel, so the Lasso is going to be really effective. And I think that's something to watch out for. And of course, the clump up against Disruptor with a Static Storm, that can be painful. So as long as you take those factors out, Dreammaker's draft, they have a really stable pause 1 gyro compared to the Bloodseeker. I think just from that core matchup, Dreammaker looks a lot nicer there.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I mean, I've been talking a lot of crap about the gyrocopter, but I mean, you pointed out the stats, John, obviously proving me completely wrong. And well, position 1 Bloodseeker, I mean, if gyrocopter pos 1 looked bad to me, this looks even worse. I mean, it's just, you can get off to a great start, but if you can't keep riding the momentum, it just falls so flat. Especially in this similar meta, we're still farming the jungle, we're still taking stacks. Gyrocopter, one of the, what is it, John?
I saw one of our viewers in chat. I believe he watches your stream.
My stream?
And he had a comment on your Dawnbreaker.
My Dawnbreaker?
Yeah, he's like, MLP Dota plays Dawnbreaker offlane and rages. Keck W. It is Mr. Novice 1311. I've seen some of those streams, Mike. No, you get very emotional.
You know what they do, John? Because I tell my idiot team, go find anybody. I remember, I think I know the game they're talking about too, right? I was playing Dawnbreaker and I had a Venge Silencer support duo. And what am I going to do with these two idiots, right? They chose Venge Silencer before Venge was good and before Silencer was good. So I asked them, can you please go smoke up and just go stun somebody and I'll be there. You know, let me farm up. I can farm and be anywhere on the map because I'm Dawnbreaker. And these idiots, John, they just refuse to do it. They keep saying, well, you know, we need you. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to be there. I have an ultimate that's literally global that transports me to where you're going to be. You see? You see where I'm going, Jonathan? Is I can efficiently farm up and also globally TP. And these guys refused to do it. They kept crying that I wasn't smoking with them. It's too much sometimes. It really is.
You gotta love Dota 2 in pubs. You know, I think the frustrating thing, right? You watch a lot of pro games because we cast. Sometimes you forget that pubs aren't high level, or at least our pubs, while climbing, just aren't in the same level. That's why these guys are pros, and we're not quite.
Don't admit that,
pro
John.
casters.
Don't admit that on stream, John.
I mean, it's pubs as well. They said they're dead inside. You know, UK said they were pretty dead. I can't believe they want to end it at this point already.
Well, they're so dead, they could have chose Dawnbreaker, John. Wommy gets all the tips. Oh, here we go. Wake him up.
UK's asking for help. I love these guys. They're just the silliest bunch of people you could ask for. They just have fun with the game. And, you know, I guess when you're playing so many tournaments, you know, it can take a toll on you as well. So we'll have to see how AG holds up. Lots of all chat. At some point, I don't even know what Chinchai play means. I have no clue.
I'll ask him about it some other time. Maybe in the next lobby we'll have a chat about it. Bounties, 2 for 2 it looks like. Rose, he might go for a bit of a swipe, but no. Decides better of it. So 2 for 2 trade. Observer wards literally right next to each other in that mid lane. And we'll start off with the top lane, John. You've got Wommy there on the Batrider. Going to be with the support Monkey King. And of course you do have CDR on the position 1 gyro against Trezam. Or excuse me, rather with Trezam on the POS 5 Pangolier. So even with the nerfs that occurred, seems like Dreammaker don't really care too much. They're still happy to run the POS 5 Pango. And I don't think the nerfs were enough to make it so POS 5 Pango isn't viable. I think it is still a pretty strong position 5 to have. Though against LYM's Monkey King, you know, it's a different story.
Yep, just gotta watch your use of shield crash because the man cost is a bit higher. Otherwise, you're pretty fine. The lane matchup isn't quite in AG's favor, I don't reckon. Batrider against a ranged hero is always sort of awkward. And again, CDR could just opt to level up the flak cannon and start to just play from a distance every time that spell's up, get some good harassment off as well. For AG, like LYM can try to pressure with Jingu, but you can already see he's dropping low.
Oh Oh, LYM, that's a lot of damage out. They're going to try and trade with these sticky napalms, but LYM eventually is going to die. Trezam and CD are getting so aggressive as now Trezam is going to make it out. Nice quick TP. Heads up thinking here from Trezam. CDR, he should feel very safe as the Firefly. It'll wear off very, very soon. Now you're going to be very happy at this top lane if you're Dreammaker. Still, we will have a quick gander at the other lanes as well, of course. Mid lane, Rose against Mamang Daya. Currently is favoring Rose on the Queen of Pain. Mamang Daya unable to really get close enough to the creeps to really secure any CS. So Rose really abusing the lane matchup right now.
Yeah, it's the one thing, right? You're a Quap, you have good magic damage, you eat through the armor of the DK. Eventually, Dragon Blood will be high enough that you're not going to be able to completely zone out the DK, and Mamang Daya will have to opt for the Breed Fire to clear out the creep wave. But the Quap will have that slight edge every time. And when it comes down to bottle use as well, you've got the added mobility from the Blink later on, and you should be able to pick up those water runes, maybe even go for both of them if you get the support rotations out. For Mamang Daya, it's just a really passive lane, and he just has to sit back and farm as much as he can.
Yeah, absolutely. Goes down to the bot lane. Chantar Visuk and CZY there against DB and, of course, UK. DB, you are expecting him to farm pretty well in this lane. Not really much to slow him down to the Bloodseeker. He is going to have a very good start. Because again, this position 1 Bloodseeker, it can do a lot of work. It just needs constant action. You can't really sit back and farm too long as this hero once you hit the mid game. And you do tend to need a decent start through the laning stage.
Yeah, you definitely do. You don't have the best setup for Blood, right? Oh, I suppose you could try Kinetic Field into Blood, right? That could be one way to land in the harassment. The lane matchup is not the easiest for Bloodseeker. At the same time, he does win out right-click trades because of his damage being so high and because of the way Thirst works. So even with the Anchor Smash, you're not really going to be able to stop DB from just laying in on you because your HP still drops and you still feel good. Dreammaker should be able to get a stable start though. Already, Chantar Visuk is kind of keeping pace. Not slowing DB down by much, but also still getting that initial farm and EXP he wants.
Yeah. A bit of a harassment there onto UK, but he'll be just fine. He's a disruptor after all. He's the one who needs to be the one harassing as... Well, unfortunately, UK finds out the hard way that Thunderstrike does get purged off by Kraken Shell, as pretty much everything else does. So no value out of that Thunderstrike being thrown out onto Chantar Visuk. He'll be alright though. Back top lane, Wommy. And they're just creep skipping now. They double up the wave, Wommy. He's going to pull that over to a neutral camp and just start farming it up with Firefly. That's a nice kind of effectiveness with his farming pattern. Trezam is going to try and intercept, and he may pay for this. Does have Swashbuckle up. Wommy's going to take a third wave now. We'll just drag that over as well. He won't quite get the jungle value that he wanted, but he does get 3, maybe not 3 waves, but about 2.5. In fact, bot lane, Chantar Visuk ends up dropping, it seems. DB and UK able to secure the kill.
Just that Blood Right combination with the Kinetic Field, so they do have ways of keeping people in to get the silence and damage off. The build from Chantar Visuk, because he did go for Max Kraken, he doesn't really have the way of stopping that physical output. Like, yeah, he blocks a good amount of damage, but the right clicks coming through from DB still rip through anyway. And Anchor Smash at level 1, 7-second cooldown. Damage reduction isn't that huge, so you can still kind of pressure there on DB, and it does line up. So overall, even start for both sides, 1-1, slight lead for Dreammaker. They are trying to harass out Trezam, but with a swash up, Monkey King can't really keep the pace. Wami is still lining up for another pull though, and again, the Batrider, all things considered with this matchup, is still struggling, but still finding some farm in EXP, so overall, at least you'll get a good level 6 spike here.
The thing is though, CDR's farming so well in the Gyrocopter right now, and LYM, he's been caught out again. So he'll die a second time. That'll be the first kill out for CDR. And with the amount of farm he's acquiring at this top lane, I mean, it's just happy days for Dreammaker. Mind you, DB's having a great old time on the Bloodseeker to boot. But again, that's a Gyrocopter you're up against. You don't want to give him this kind of amazing start. So he will be able to go into the triangle and start farming stacks over and over again. The Bloodseeker not going to be quite as effective with the same level as Palm.
Yeah, it's just not the same spikes. And we'll have to see how DB plays around that. You mentioned early aggression for the hero. Maybe something quick here, like say a fast S and Y should allow him to show up. Maybe even a fast Maelstrom, depending on what they feel they need. Mid lane, you already have level 6s up on Rose and Mamangdaya. Dragon form up from Mamangdaya, but he can't. He did do some good chip damage on tier 1. Not quite enough to really force it out. And Rose, again, is already getting a lot more from lane. 42-7 compared to our DK at 36-5. So that flash farm on the chorus for AG is just not there. It's mainly on DB early on. And he will go for the Maelstrom. So it looks like he wants a mix of farm output and damage output. And we'll see how effective that is down the line. But for now, it does feel like Dreammaker's just getting way more. They're getting massive stacks off in the triangle. And the sentry ward is immediately taken out as well. And the side of AG aren't really ready to contest yet. They are getting information with LYM in the jungle, but he's a level 3 monkey. He can't really stay too long. CDR has the damage to rip through him.
CDR just farming stacks away. Very, very happy right now on the gyrocopter. You know, John, you made me sound like a terrible person earlier on with that whole Dawnbreaker thing, by the way. Let it be known. Let it be known that I don't jump on the mic getting toxic or anything, just in case some of the viewers are a bit, you know. I rage at myself. I rage in front of my computer screen.
Yeah,
you know.
We all do.
Yeah.
I think anyone who plays Dota is immediately that kind of person. You have to be. Even if you're the most PMA guy, you get frustrated. It's Dota 2. It's a fun, frustrating game. It's the nature of it. And going back to that point, you know, AG, they're feeling pretty dead. Mental aspect of Dota 2 is very big. We'll have to see if it holds up. I think with this kind of pace, they're not really doing well. Right? Like 1-2, 1K lead for Dreammaker, not big. It looks even on paper, but you have to mind that triangle farm. You have to mind the map control. And they're not really able to just leverage this early spike. Like, Dragon form's ready, but no rotations onto mid. But you have UK around to drop some wards, and Dragon form is pop once more to get a shove in. But without the numbers, it's just a lot slower than it should be.
Yeah. Mamangdaya trying to apply pressure in the mid-tier 1. Rose, oh, nice glimpse back. It's the classic, you always get glimpse back once during a game. So the disruptor kind of gets forgotten about. CZY sends Rose right back down to the bot lane, and that's going to allow Mamangdaya to get a bit more pressure onto that mid-tier 1 before Chantavisuk is forced to rotate to be able to defend. In the meantime, LYM, he is trying to keep tabs on what CDR is up to. Naturally, we'll see CDR just farming that dire side jungle. He's going to place a nice deep observer ward down, and yeah, that is one of the more busted things about Monkey King, is that you can sit in the tree and still place an obs that far away. Like, it doesn't seem very fair to me.
It does make sense, though. He has a really long pole, so he probably just reaches out with a pole and drops it down, right? That's it. Makes sense. He can reach. Yes.
Thank
you
for that.
It's about his height. So on lore, I think it makes sense. He probably just really hammers it in with a pole, but no, he's a Monkey King for a reason.
Thank you for that analysis, Jonathan. I'll go for a stat. That is the worst analysis I've ever heard, John. You could have come up with something else, like, oh, his cast range just enough to... Could have came up with anything to sound smart there. And you said his pole's long enough.
Yeah, he's got a pole. He can just drop stuff. You see, he can reach out, I think. You never know. Makes sense to me.
I'm sure it does. He'll keep scouting out at Shazam now going to run past. CDR still farming the same area. I mean, it's one thing to watch him doing this. It's another thing to do something about it. I suppose LYM is doing a decent enough job of soaking XP away from the gyrocopter. That being said, LYM is still stuck at the level 3 mark. But he has his courier. And his courier apparently can deliver items up the tree as well, John. Does the courier have a long pole he can reach up?
No, but LYM can take the baggie that the courier is carrying up with his pole. You know those old things from the early 2000s that people used to advertise for people our age, old people now? You know, the stuff to reach out?
Oh,
that's what his pole is.
Jesus.
Well, it's one of those easy grabby things. That's what Monkey King's whipping around with. He has a hook under that twig. Just takes the bag up to him. You know, no problems.
No problems at all. Wami and UK gonna get that top tier 1 tower. Looks like the trade will be occurring on the bot side. Chantavi's still gonna get the other. So even trade. It does still feel like Dreammaker is getting the favorable end of things because again, you've got a gyro and CDR now. He's gonna move into that triangle. Unfortunately, no stacks are there for him, so I do believe Chantavi may have taken them on the Tide Hunter. But he won't mind too much. It's still triangle farm. He'll still be more than happy to take it on the gyro. I suppose in the meantime, you do now have a Maelstrom up on DB. So he has his own farming tool on the Bloodseeker. You do want to kind of see him getting a little bit more aggressive with his team very, very soon. They will now group up for that mid-tier 1 tower. Glimpse back on Chantavi Sook, but already he didn't really TP into the mid lane. He was just walking around there and finds LYM. Nice tree cut from Chantavi Sook. Does get the Monkey King. That was without vision, by the way. I believe he just went in and tried a blind and ended up finding him.
Yeah, they got the scan off earlier, and they managed to make it work. Good punishment there. Been a slow game for LYM. 0-3-0, level 5, no Wukong's up. He hasn't had that early impact you'd expect. And I don't think that's a good point for the Monkey King. Like, when you're pause 4 monkeys behind your pause 5 disruptor in levels, it doesn't feel amazing. And it's honestly a bit reminiscent of a Monkey King play we saw, I think, 2-3 years ago from a certain player who was in Southeast Asia for a while.
Name the player,
Mr.
John.
EE. Mr. EE. I just remember this. When I see the Monkey King just hanging in the tree line, I think of EE, and I think he's just really deep in the roleplay. So perhaps, you know, LYM's also deep in the roleplay, picking up stuff with his pole and dropping stuff with his pole and just hanging around.
Oh, boy. LYM. Let's start moving in. Smoke up. Mamang Dai going to be there with UK. Trezam. Going to be around. He should be able to break the smoke. And I like the way he's positioned around CDR to break any smokes incoming. He'll be happy to tank the gank. And Mamang Dai is going to be there with the stun. They'll commit Static Storm. But CDR seems to want to try and force the fight. Cooldown is there. They'll go on to the DK. And it'll be a very favorable trade if they manage to get him. And they will. Nice easy pick off. For Dreammaker, you got the Pango, but who cares? It's a position 5.
Yeah, it's not the biggest kill, and you're seeing some damage issues. They had to throw everything they had to find that kill on AG's side on a support. So even with the Blink utility, damage output's just not quite there. Perhaps once you have a Blink on Wami as well, and you start with the lassos, burned down with a Firefly, it starts to feel a bit better. He is inching towards that timing here on the Bat Rider. Not too far off, just about 800 gold off, and once you have that, I think you can start playing. The issue is, Dreammaker, from that movement out, is already starting some form of invasion, although Rupture's out.
Can they actually lock him down? Yeah, they can. Mamang Dai, he's in with the Blink. Chantavi Sook. You've got... Look how tanky this man. He's taking no damage. They'll eventually get through him. I mean, he had Ravage. Obviously, he wasn't going to pop it to try and survive that. I believe he was ruptured anyway. But that is certainly a very concerning sign when the Tide Hunter takes that many heroes just hitting away to actually take him down.
It's just... you lack damage. Plain and simple on the side of AG. Like, Bloodseeker to a certain extent can right-click, but it's not amazing, right? Like, his damage output's not particularly amazing. He has a decent agi gain per level, so it can stack up. Your main source is really Wami right now on the Bat Rider, and that does necessitate some time in prepping the damage to come through with a sticky napalm. So you just don't have that source of instantaneous burst, and that just allows Dreammaker to play however they want. There's no threat of a gank just immediately killing them off. Because of that, unless they see the lasso committed, that should guarantee the kill for AG. And they still have to wait for the blink for that. So slow going for AG. Dreammaker just keep stalling this game out. They have the Ags up in CDR, and he also has a Dragonlance. So Gyrocopter is feeling really good. Could be opting for the BKB next, as he does have the Mithril Hammer queued up. Probably a disassembly play with a Dragonlance into that BKB. So early timings for him, just looking to perhaps fight early. As AG, as they play this game slow, you are keeping up to an extent with your Bloodseeker and with your Batrider and DK, but the lead CDR has will just continuously build up.
CZY gonna drop top lane, but Ravage mid lane, they've got DB. Well worth the Ravage committal. Dreammaker, nice and confident play onto DB, and well, the mid tier 1 tower is generally a very, very valuable tower to get for any team. Dreammaker, they'll be the first ones to get it in this game, number 1. Army Geniuses, again, they are playing very slow here. Rose, oh, here we go again. Tries to illusion dodge. It won't work out. He'll be glimpsed back, but it won't really matter. They're not going to keep pushing anyway. Mamang Dai has already backed off on the DK.
Yep, just conservative play from AG. Is the side of Dreammaker. You know, with the mid-tier 1 gone, they have much more control on the map. They're not quite invading. They're just choosing to sit in their top rack, top jungle, build up the farm, take it nice and steady. They even fired on Grove Bow that unfortunately CDR doesn't want to use. He does prefer the pig pole. Stats are nice, and the move speed, if things get bad, it's pretty useful. So overall, good state of the game for Dreammaker. I mean, while you're sitting here farming, it's not like you have Ravage anyway, so you can just kind of chill. You're not missing out on kill opportunities.
CDR looking to back off. LYM is in with the Boundless Strike. Flame Break as well, and Lasso. They commit everything. They should be able to secure this. CDR, he'll try to fight with the call down, and almost, in fact, he will get LYM. I mean, it's something, right? Like, you're still going to lose your life, and it's not worth it for Dreammaker, but at least you get something.
Yeah, it still finds him a kill, although UK.
Finger out, CZY will play no games. It's a media kill, and now a 3k net worth advantage for Dreammaker. I mean, sure, you have a bit of time where DB can catch up to this Gyrocopter, but let's be fair, it's a Bloodseeker versus Gyrocopter. Even with the respawn timer right now, chances are that CDR is going to go back into the triangle, and he'll be just fine to escalate his net worth advantage.
There's no worries there. Like, he's just much more efficient on the map, much quicker to clear out those camps. DB, again, with a Maelstrom, can sort of do that, but not as fast. AG, they did opt to rush the BKB on Wami instead of the Blink. He does have that BKB up, so he can stand in front, not worry about pretty much all of the control coming out from Dreammaker. I think they need to play with that. Like, they have to wait for the Lasso to go off cooldown first, but this is the point where they have some tools on hand to actually find bigger kills, to find the kill on the Quap, to lock in the Gyro without actually dying or giving off a trade anyway, and just kind of start to play aggressive, because this lineup from AG doesn't scale into the late game well. Right? Like, it does feel like we're approaching that point where they have to take some activity on the map. If not, then this is just a slow but sure build-up for Dreammaker to use a Gyro, to use a Quap. Both heroes scale really well into late game, and you just can't keep up with the heroes you have on AG's end. Bloodseeker is just such a quick tempo hero. If it doesn't find that early lead, it falls flat.
Rose, blink out. Nice ward here to give the advantage. Dreammaker, they were ready for this. Static Storm, though, is going to drop. UK, he caught 2, but glimpse back on the line. TZY, still alive, but eventually will drop. But now here comes the cavalry. They've got the Ravage to play with, and they'll move in onto Mamang Daya. The Dragon Knight has been left behind. Davion, he's gone. CDR picks up a double kill on the Gyro, and that was a 1-for-3 trade. I mean, AG, they weren't joking when they said they were dead, John. They do seem very, very tired right now.
That they do. Movement not worthwhile. They find a support for 3 big heroes on their side. That opens up the Roshan for Dreammaker. They're in. They have the Ravage ready on Chantavisuk. So even the threat of a rotation from AG is not going to be enough. So they will just get working. It does melt really fast with the damage output of CDR at this point. Like, just with his right clicks, with the Gush minus armor, the Rosh doesn't take too long. There are pings flying through. Wami, he doesn't have a blink, so he can't really jump in and try to make a play. They are still setting up, though.
Too late. Aegis is down. They will at least get a blood right off onto CDR, but now they move in. Chantavisuk still has Ravage to play with. DB, he's trying onto that Tide, But once that BKB wears off, he needs to run as Wami. He'll move in. CZY does get caught. Back on CDR. He is going to lose his first life. So Army Geniuses, they get some real nice value. But here comes the initiation back in from the side of Dreammaker. They'll get Wami. They should at least be able to find UK to boot. So it's really not too bad of a trade. Yes, you lose the Aegis. And yes, I think Army Geniuses will still be okay with this. But kill-wise, it does still favor Dreammaker.
Yep, it's definitely a favorable trade. They don't really lose out much, and they still hold on to the lead at 6k. So they keep down that Batrider who desperately needs to blink up to have that initiation for the team to back up his DK's blink stun. That is going to take a little bit more time here for Wami, as he's only at 800 gold in his bank. So not quite there. The map for AG is starting to shrink down a bit. At the very least, their tier 2 still stand. So they do still have easy enough access onto their jungle and triangle. But Dreammaker's done a good job of just keeping eyes there. They have that ward, watching the triangle forward camp to punish any sort of build-up. And they're still just all over the map. They're confident in their jungle. They know that the rotations from AG are few and far between. There is a smoke out from AG, though. Lasso is ready in Wami. Again, Blink BKB ready in Mamang Daya. Could look for a pickoff.
Here we go. Dragon Tail does land. They've got Chantan Visuk, but he's still got the Ravage up. You've got to be very wary of that. And he's a tanky boy. He's not going to tie that quick. In fact, he's pump faking right now. He'll jump in on DB, but the Static Storm will hold him back. DB will rush in, try to get him down in time, and they get him. They've got the tide gone. Rose also caught, but we'll be able to blink away. So 1 for 1 on the off lane. I think AG will be happy with that. Ravage never got to come out. In the end, both teams will retreat.
Yeah. It does feel better for AG because they're the ones behind, so killing off the higher network here does favor them in the end. I think in terms of the macro game, in terms of the state of the map, it doesn't really change much. You still have Ravage ready, you still have Lasso ready, so when the respawns are up, both sides could look for a smoke play. You did commit the Sonic Wave and Finger. Those are the longer cooldowns on Dreammaker's sides. I don't think they mind too much. They still have enough follow-through damage on the Ravage with their Gyrocopter on hand. So it's not completely necessary that you have the Sonic Wave anyway. They might be overstaying though as Wami spots CDR.
CDR gonna try and turn, but the BKB was used up, and now the stun is there from Mamang Daya. But CDR, he's not dead yet. They might be able to still save him. BKB comes off. He's still not dying. Cooldown is there, but finally ends up dropping. But here comes the cleanup. They'll try, or maybe not. Shazam, he's the only one left and will drop. Dreammaker, I thought the rest of them would move in. Try to abuse that Ravage that was available, but they do leave CDR behind along with Shazam. Another favorable fight here for AG.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward one. As for Dreammaker, again, as you mentioned, they had the tools to jump back in if they wanted to. Maybe just felt like they were a bit too far. And they do give away a very big kill. It still leaves them with a 5k lead, but I believe that dropped from a 6k lead. So it's starting to equalize just a bit in AG's favor. And that should allow AG to take that mid-tier 1 to even out map control a step further. So you are finding some spikes coming through. The Mjolnir is standing on DB. He does have a lot of attack speed to play with and can protect with the threat of the static charge, the lightning procs bouncing around if you do attack the target that he protects. So some more tools here for AG. Key one that we're still looking for is Wami's Blink, but he's almost there. 800 gold off. Not going to be too long now for the Batrider to be able to be up in front for the team. Dreammaker, they don't really need to do anything. And that's the thing. Like this is why they're just sitting in the jungle farming up. They literally do not have to do a thing to get the advantage because they've got Gyro, Satanic coming up next for CDR, just about 1.4k gold away. So that should line up almost closely to Wami's Blink timing, although Wami's right on it. But yeah, once that's up,
Finger kill, CZY, 4 stack of the finger damage. Stacked up there for our line. So both teams now setting up for that bottom and top tier 2 tower. Looks like they might just accept the trades. AG looks like they're not going to back off and try to defend. They'll just take what they get. So will Dreammaker. But it is really going to be that satanic timing for CDR that I think is going to make it really just impossible to kill him. I mean, it's... Every team fight that goes by, CDR barely dies anyway. Once the Satanic's up and he actually has some life steal. Some significant life steal. That's going to be a big problem.
Yeah, it should be online earlier than this Scotty build-up in DB as well. So even without healing reduction on DB, as long as Satanic Active is ready, you don't really care about it on CDR. We've seen that counterpoint to the Scotty multiple times before. You're going to need more to really stop the lifesteal game from working on that gyrocopter. And you still need more items on the Bloodseeker. Scotty alone with the Mjolnir, probably not enough. I think you're going to want the Basher Abyssal on this here, if not a Shiva's Guard for more AoE damage and slow. And both of those items look like a mile away for DB, so let's see how it fares as the game keeps stalling out. 6k lead still remains for Dreammaker. They do have the full Satanic we were talking about up on CDR. So he's got double damage rune bottled up as well. And all of the tools you need on Dreammaker is basically online. And they will go for the smoke play.
YM ready to break the smoke. Rose going to blink right into that high ground. Triangle is being held right now by Army Geniuses. However, the wraparound is there. They are on the low ground now, and Dreammaker might see the opening. You're looking for Chantar Visuk to make a big blink in for the Ravage. Not going to come, though. They aren't maybe just still afraid of that triangle high ground being taken by AG. Even if they show up on the low ground for a second, they just don't feel completely safe making the jump in. Yeah, I've also got the tier 2 tower nearby, which the bonus is going to be slightly annoying. Trezam, he threatens the Rolling Thunder, but eventually does not end up doing it. In the meantime, the top lane is being forced in, so you've got to make a decision soon. Dreammaker, they're going to move into the tier 2 mid. Double damage available in CDR does make this a lot faster. And it looks like they're probably going to have to retreat and defend that top lane now as the creep wave is onto the tower. And Army Geniuses, they have pretty much no will to fight Dreammaker at the moment. So they're just going to keep split pushing until maybe the next Roshan, I believe.
Yep, not too long until we see the respawn on that Rosh. Just about 2 seconds away. And the side of Dreammaker are already kind of set up for it. They're just keeping Chantal Visuk inside. It is a long respawn, 3 minutes full. So it's going to be a while longer for them to wait. And that is going to give AG a bit more time to keep that build up going. They are trying to save up for the Ags and Mamang Daya. They do have the smoke up, but they don't really have the targets. Dreammaker playing it safe, pulling away from the top lane, which they know was being shoved in. And they'll just keep playing elsewhere and keep being slightly more efficient because of the gyrocopter.
AG just going to continue the split push game. Roshan, such a long time at 220 away. So it does give an opportunity for Army Geniuses to try and make something out of this time. Try to figure out a plan to sort out what they're going to do about this next Roshan. So it doesn't really feel like they have the superior team fight here either. Maybe a smoke up now. 5-man group up. OIM's got the smoke. They are going to pop it. Dreammaker's got the high ground on the triangle, though. AG, where do you think they are? Like, are they going to go into the Roshan pit? It seems like they will. Smoke will break. Wami pops the BKB. Trezam doesn't want to be targeted, it looks like, and instead they'll go for the lasso onto the gyro. CDR has been caught. DB, he'll get to work. Ravage is there, though. Chantar Visuk, he turns it around. DB, he's going to try and run, but it looks like there's probably no running. Homing missile will chase him down. They glimpse one back. It won't make a difference, though. Towards the south, UK is still trying to run. Mamang Dai is ticking out to the Spirit Vessel. He's going to drop to boot. Who did they even lose? Did they lose anyone? They lost
had
the
to buy
Pango.
back in the Pango. Yeah, they bought back, but it's very well worthwhile. DB was doing good damage on CDR, but the moment everyone else got kind of locked off, he couldn't clean up, and Satanic just kicked in with the Ags, just heals up so hard, and there's just not enough in tank from AG to hold back. Tier 3 being taken now, and should just fall easily as they've got the C-Troop to help out, and the Rax should go. They do have the option to shove in the bot with set of Rax as well. And they don't have Ravage, they don't have Sonic Wave, so they might just play safe, and they will. They respect the high ground hold potential of AG. Roche, 20 seconds away, so perhaps just looking for that first, and going back in afterwards. They're going to have the Daedalus up on CDR by the time that Roche is done, so damage output on our Gyros really high. It just doesn't compare. The difference with CDR and DB is about 4k right now, which does account for one major item, and even without a major item difference, it feels like the Bloodseeker needs a lead to really be impactful in the front. He's nowhere near that, of course, being behind right now, so we'll just have to see how much more AG can bring out. And they have some ways of taking these fights. We've seen the good lassos, we've seen the good control they do put out with their Static Storm, with their Blood Rite. They just need to be able to get the damage off and actually get the kills.
Roshan gonna drop very fast. They've got to try and figure out a way to fight this. Ravage isn't up though, so you've got that down for 35 seconds. LYM, he'll scan out the HP of the Roshan. If we can see maybe another lasso on CDR, they're gonna try right now. Flamebreaker's there, but they're too early. They are too early to the pit. Roshan's not down yet. Lasso's out. They're trying to steal the Roshan Aegis, but no chance up his Sook. He stalls the Aegis back. He steals it back the way for Dreammakers. They go onto the Dragon Knight. They take down UK and they get the GG call. Just beautiful.
Yeah, it was just on point. Remaker executing start to finish very clean. AG, I don't know. Like they said they were tired, perhaps, from playing all day. That could be a factor going in here. I feel like the draft was subpar as well from them. Like they went to support Monkey King. LYM did not have the impact we tend to see him with that hero, and it just fell apart from there. Like they hit some timings with a blink on Mamang Daya, with Wami's BKB, with DP going for the Mjolnir, but there was a major damage issue with this kind of Tricore. Like we normally see DK and Batrider sort of sustain a fatter +1, something that wants to just keep farming and build that item advantage with really good base stats and good maybe steroids in the kit as well. Bloodseeker's not that core, and as the game scaled on, CDR on that gyrocopter just got bigger and bigger, and they had no answer to that.
All right. Well, with that, we are going to head to a short 10-minute break. Right after the break, we'll be back between, back for game 2 between AG and, of course, Dreammaker. John, before we do head off to break, do we see Dawnbreaker next game? Yes or
Maybe.
No? No, yes or no, Jonathan?
Yes or no? No, probably not.
Oh. Let's hope you're wrong. It is MLP Donuts, John xfire. We'll see you all again in 10 minutes for that game 2.